You know that moment when you start a game just to check it out and suddenly hours are gone? That's the kind of obsession we're talking about. Whether it's a massive open world that keeps you exploring, or a story so good you just need to see what happens next, here are the top 20 games you'll be obsessed with after the first hours. Some games hook you with chaos, others with heart. Yakuza 0 gives you both in the first hour. You're dropped into the late 80s streets of Tokyo and Osaka. You play as Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, two men on opposite sides of Japan's criminal underworld, each pulled into a web of loyalty, money, and survival. The story starts small, a simple debt job gone wrong, and before you realize it, you're knee-deep in a conspiracy that threatens everything. The writing hits that perfect mix of serious drama and absurd humor. Combat is slick and satisfying, with multiple fighting styles that make every encounter feel different. You can brawl in the streets, swing traffic cones, or pull off cinematic finishers that never get old. Yakuza 0 isn't just something you play for fun, it's something that completely takes over your attention.
Time is like a tide. It pulls us. And shapes us. Uncovers our secrets. Hidden deep below the surface.
Returnal sucks you in from the first minute. You're Celine, an astronaut who crash lands on this alien planet called Atropos, chasing a weird signal. And then you realize you're stuck in a time loop. Every death brings you back to the wreck of your ship, and the world changes on you. But what really makes it addictive is that after just an hour, you're already invested. You're thinking, okay, what's this loop about? What's that weird signal? How do I get out of this? And that mystery pulls you forward. At the same time, you're hooked on finding a better weapon and unlocking a new ability. After the first hour, you keep diving in for one more run, hoping to see the next biome, grab the next upgrade, or uncover whatever crazy twist comes next. So if you're looking at the list of games you'll be obsessed with after the first hour, Returnal absolutely earns its spot.
Fear, hate, those are the only flowers your compassion may grow.
You get them weapons ready! Find one!
Leave me alone! Who are you? Stay back!
No, right! Burn it, boys! Over there!
Shit! Where'd it go?
Untie your bonds, my child. Unlearn your past. Embrace your new nature. And once more be reborn. The vigor in their blood is all you need.
We will crush this!
Vampyr pulls you in with its atmosphere right away. You're Dr. Jonathan Reed, a respected physician in post-World War I London who wakes up as a vampire. The city's drowning in disease, fear, and chaos, and now you're caught between saving people and feeding on them. From the first hour, you're making tough calls that actually matter. Every person you meet has a story, a job, relationships, and deciding whether to help or kill them changes the whole district. The combat feels sharp and fast, mixing melee, guns, and blood powers that make every encounter brutal and satisfying. But what really hooks you is the choice. You're constantly asking yourself, do I cure this city or drain it dry? The more you play, the harder it gets to stop. You want to see how far you'll go, how much you'll sacrifice, and who you'll become when survival means giving up your humanity. The thing about Hades is, it doesn't waste your time. You're slicing through enemies as Zagreus, the son of Hades, trying to escape the underworld, and every run just pulls you deeper in. It's fast, stylish, and brutally satisfying. But here's the thing, every time you die, you start again. The rooms change, the enemies shuffle around, and somehow you still get better each run. You unlock new weapons, grab random power-ups from the gods, and the story quietly unfolds between attempts. Within that first hour, you're already thinking about your next run, what build to try, what path to take, how to push just a little further this time. By the time you hit that first hour, you're fully hooked. You're plotting your next run, debating which god to side with, and convincing yourself you've got time for just one more. And then it's midnight, and you're still down there in the underworld, chasing perfection.
All over now.
No! I won't hurt you!
BioShock 2. Right out of the gate, you're back in the underwater city of Rapture. But this time, you're not just a visitor. You're the prototype Big Daddy, wearing the heavy suit, wielding the drill, and you've got one mission. Protect your little sister and figure out how to survive this wrecked paradise. The game gives you freedom. Will you act with honor, or will you exploit the chaos to your advantage? And the combat? It's not just the same old rinse-repeat. You're drilling through enemies, blasting with plasmids, hacking and tearing through twisted corridors in ways that feel fresh. Before you know it, you're chasing leads, experimenting with combining weapons and plasmids, trying to figure out how to dive deeper into the city and what you actually stand for. You're not just playing shoot and explore, you're owning the armor, owning the city's history, owning the moral mess. And that's what makes this one irresistible. Control is one of those games that gets under your skin almost instantly. You walk into the Federal Bureau of Control, a government building that's anything but normal, and from that first moment, you realize something's off. You play as Jessie Faden, a woman searching for answers about her missing brother, only to find herself chosen as the new director of this strange organization. The gameplay hits a sweet spot between action and supernatural power fantasy. You're shooting, levitating, throwing chunks of concrete with your mind, and everything feels weighty and stylish. By the time that first hour's up, you're not thinking about stopping. You're thinking about what's waiting deeper inside, what secrets the Bureau's hiding, and how far you'll go to uncover the truth. Control doesn't just keep your attention, it traps it.
That's all I can remember of that dream. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary...
Look who it is. The stranger that came out of nowhere and now has everyone talking. Some people want you to be a savior, a shining beacon of hope. Those people clearly haven't met you yet.
The Outer Worlds is the kind of game that grabs you without even trying. You wake up from cryosleep on a lost colony ship, step out into the bright chaos of space capitalism, and before you know it, you're knee-deep in corporate drama, moral choices, and weird science. Within the first hour, you already feel that pull. Explore just one more planet. Make one more choice that'll probably come back to bite you later. Gameplay-wise, it mixes smooth gunplay with RPG depth. You tweak your stats, upgrade your ship, and shape your reputation across the colonies. The tone walks this perfect line between serious sci-fi and dark comedy, making every quest feel unpredictable. By the end of your first hour, you're not just exploring planets. You're testing what kind of person you want to be in a universe run by corporations. It's funny, it's clever, and it's dangerously easy to lose track of time. Ori and the Will of the Wisps pulls you in with pure atmosphere. The moment the game starts, it's like stepping into a living painting. The colors, the lighting, the music, everything feels awesome to pull at your emotions. You play as Ori, this small, glowing spirit trying to survive and find their way through a massive, dangerous world. The combat's faster than in the first game, and every new upgrade makes you feel more capable, but never invincible. There's always that balance between grace and danger. By the time you reach your first major area, you're already addicted to the rhythm. Explore, fight, survive, upgrade, repeat. After that first hour, you don't even think about quitting. You just keep going, wanting to see the next breathtaking view or hear that next piece of music that hits you right in the chest. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order grabs you fast. Within minutes, everything blows up, literally, and you're forced back into a fight you've been avoiding for years. The opening alone feels like a full movie scene, and by the end of that first hour, you already know you're in for something special. The worlds you explore are dense and full of secrets, ancient temples, crashed ships, hidden chambers, and that sense of discovery keeps you going. The game hits that perfect balance between challenge and adventure, pushing you just enough to make every victory feel earned. After an hour, you're already thinking like a Jedi again. You want to master every move, explore every planet, and dig deeper into Cal's story. It's that rare kind of Star Wars game that doesn't just make you play a Jedi, it makes you feel like one.
Trust no one. Trust only in the Force.
Jacob Seed runs the North with a heavily armed militia, forcing disciples to convert through control and fear. Then there's John, the self-proclaimed Baptist of the Valley, using intimidation to break you physically, mentally, and any other way he can.
Let's try that again.
Their sister Faith drugs and traps her victims like lambs to the slaughter, aiming to keep you in line and out of your damn mind.
Far Cry 5. Montana looks peaceful from a distance. Green fields, quiet lakes, blue skies. But once you touch down in Hope County, you realize the whole place is ruled by a doomsday cult. You're supposed to make an arrest, and within minutes, everything falls apart. What makes it stick isn't just the gunfights. It's the freedom. You can take down cult outposts however you want. Go loud, go stealth, or even call in a friend to help. One moment, you're flying a plane. The next, you're wrestling a bear named Cheeseburger. It's chaotic, but it never stops being fun. You stop following the map and start following the chaos. You just keep going, clearing roads, rescuing people, getting lost in stories that feel too weird to be side quests. Far Cry 5 doesn't wait for you to plan. It drags you into its madness and dares you to survive it.
I have come for you. So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
Seems fate still doesn't want you dead.
The first time you face death in Sekiro, you realize this game isn't here to play nice. It drops you into late 1500s Japan, a world of crumbling castles, quiet villages, and warriors who show no mercy. You play as Wolf, a shinobi bound to protect his young lord. And within minutes, that loyalty is tested hard. Sekiro doesn't hand you power, it makes you earn it. Every sword clash feels like a conversation made of timing and precision. You're not trading hits, you're reading your enemy, breaking their posture, waiting for that perfect moment to strike. The combat is fast, sharp, and brutally honest. If you hesitate, you die. But when you start to get it, everything clicks. You're grappling across rooftops, deflecting blades mid-air, and pulling off stealth kills like it's second nature. Each victory feels earned, and each defeat teaches you something. Some games take their time before they grab you. Resident Evil 4 Remake doesn't. Within the first hour, it's got you completely locked in. You step into Leon Kennedy's shoes, sent to rescue the president's daughter in a remote Spanish village. The remake doesn't just modernize the classic, it reimagines it. The over-the-shoulder camera feels smoother, combat is tighter, and the knife mechanics change everything. You can parry a chainsaw if your timing's right, and when you pull it off, it feels incredible. What keeps you hooked is how perfectly it balances chaos and control. You're terrified, but you're never powerless. After that first hour, you're fully in. Every encounter has you thinking, planning, reacting. It's not just survival horror done right. It's a masterclass in tension that keeps you saying, one more run, long after you should have stopped.
You're here looking for someone? Maybe some missing señorita?
Ashley, where are you?
Your soul requires cleansing.
The ground burned to ash, and the seas boiled, and people turned into shadows. So let us not fear the heretics at our door. Even with their iron steeds standing before us, stinking of machine oil and shining its heretical light upon us.
Remember, most of the country has been destroyed or occupied. Even those who speak our language might be enemies, by conviction or out of fear.
We will not falter!
Metro Exodus is one of those games that quietly takes over your attention. Within the first hour, you're already lost in its world, that mix of danger, beauty, and hope hiding under all the ruin. You play as Artyom, finally leaving the tunnels of Moscow in search of a life beyond the metro. The game blends survival, exploration, and story better than almost anything else. You're scavenging for filters, crafting ammo on the go. The world feels harsh. Frozen forests, dead cities, rusted trains, and quiet camps filled with people who still believe there's something worth saving. After that first hour, you're not just surviving, you're invested. You want to see what's waiting down the tracks, what's left of the world, and whether Artyom's hope is enough to keep going. Metro Exodus doesn't just pull you in, it keeps you there, one haunting view at a time.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began. The world's forge. And it will all end.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, you take care of Alice.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. The company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
Detroit Become Human is the kind of game that takes hold fast. Within the first hour, it's not the graphics or the action that pull you in. It's the choices. The game feels more like living inside a movie than just playing one. You're controlling the tone of every conversation, deciding who to trust, who to save, and sometimes, who has to die. The facial animations are insanely realistic. You can see fear, anger, hesitation, all of it. By the end of that first hour, you're already second-guessing yourself. Did you say the right thing? Could you have saved them? Every path splits into more branches, and it makes you want to replay scenes just to see what else could have happened. Detroit Become Human doesn't just make you obsessed with what's next. It makes you obsessed with what could have been. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of those games that wins you over before you even realize it. Within the first hour, you're climbing icy cliffs in Siberia, fighting the wind and holding your breath as the mountain crumbles beneath you. The game nails the balance between action, exploration, and survival. You're crafting arrows from scraps, setting traps, scavenging materials, and uncovering ancient secrets buried deep in the snow. Every tomb feels like its own puzzle. Beautiful, dangerous, and rewarding once you figure it out. The environments are stunning. Snow crunches under your boots, the cold bites at every step, and the lighting makes everything feel alive. The attention to detail is crazy. Even small moments, like finding a campfire, feel satisfying. Rise of the Tomb Raider isn't just about surviving nature. It's about chasing something you can't let go of.
I'd like to know you're taking care of yourself. For many people, these traumas become a mental trap. They get stuck, like a ship frozen in ice. There's another type of person. Do you know what happens to them? Miss Croft.
We become who we're meant to be.
Your beliefs. Which villages to tame and which to burn. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai. Do you surrender?
Some games pull you in with story, others with visuals. Ghost of Tsushima does both in minutes. After the first hour, you're already lost in its world. The island of Tsushima is stunning. Golden fields, crimson forests, and quiet temples sitting in the fog. But beneath all that beauty is war. And you're Jin Sakai, a samurai watching his home fall to the Mongol invasion. The combat feels incredible. You're reading your enemy's movement, deflecting at the perfect moment, and finishing with that clean, cinematic cut that never gets old. Then the game opens up and the freedom takes over. The visuals and sound work together perfectly. The rustle of grass, the howl of wind, the echo of steel. It's calm and violent all at once. By the time you realize how far you've gone, you're not just playing anymore, you obsessed. There's something about Days Gone that sneaks up on you. At first, it feels like another open-world survival game. A guy on a bike in a world full of freakers. But give it some time, and you start to see why it sticks. You play as Deacon St. John, a drifter and former biker trying to survive the collapse of everything he once knew. The moment-to-moment gameplay feels alive. Scavenging, crafting, fixing your bike, running out of gas in the middle of nowhere. Then the Horde shows up, and suddenly your calm ride turns into pure chaos. Hundreds of freakers rush at you, and you realize how fragile everything is. What keeps you coming back isn't just the action, it's the journey. Watching Deacon's story unfold, rebuilding trust, losing people, finding hope again. It's messy, emotional, and surprisingly real.
You're afraid to be here. You're afraid to be a part of something. We need you here, and that scares the hell out of you. We have to look out for each other.
That is all we got. You could have saved a few lives.
There was no hope, there was no time, there was no room, okay? We'd already turned on each other by the time the Hordes arrived.
you're right about your old lady, Deke.
Hollow Knight doesn't tell you much at first, it just lets you wander. You drop into the ruined kingdom of Hallownest with almost no direction, and that mystery is exactly what makes it hard to stop playing. The gameplay is simple to learn, but endlessly satisfying to master. Each fight demands patience and precision. Every victory feels earned. And when you unlock new abilities, the dash, the wall jump, the double strike, the entire map suddenly opens up in ways you didn't expect. There's a rhythm to Hollow Knight that's hard to describe. You die, you learn, you push deeper, and the more you uncover, the more it gives back. By the time you look up from the screen, you realize you're lost, not just in the tunnels, but in the obsession to see what's hidden one layer deeper. It's quiet, haunting, and impossible to walk away from.
Beyond the monster who kills without cause.
Fate only binds you if you let it. What is necessary. Not because it is written.
God of War Ragnarok doesn't waste a second reminding you why this series is special. The opening feels huge, snow falling over the mountains, a storm rolling in, and Kratos quietly preparing for what's coming. The combat hits harder than before. You can feel the weight of every swing from the Leviathan axe, the burn of the Blades of Chaos, and the impact when enemies hit back. Exploration is just as rewarding. You'll find hidden realms, solve puzzles carved into frozen cliffs, and stumble across stories told only through the environment. The scale is enormous, but it never feels empty. Before you know it, you're not playing for loot or upgrades. You want to see how far a father and son will go when fate refuses to let them rest. Ragnarok isn't just another sequel. It's the kind of game that leaves you sitting in silence after the credits roll, thinking about everything you just went through. Some games take time to build momentum. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt hits you almost right away. You step into the boots of Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter for hire, and the moment you ride across those open fields with that soundtrack behind you, it just clicks. The world feels real, not because it's massive, but because every inch of it feels lived in. Combat feels deliberate and weighty, but what really pulls you in is the writing. Conversations feel natural, choices have weight, and the game never tells you which answer is right. You might walk away from a quest thinking you did the right thing, only to come back later and see the damage you caused. You start playing to hunt beasts, but you stay for the people, the choices, the stories that refuse to let go. The Witcher 3 isn't just about adventure, it's about consequence, and long after you stop playing, that world still lingers in the back of your mind.